Let's talk about the third trimester of pregnancy because it has been so different from the first and the second trimester. But before we do that, I'm Naomi, a first time expecting mama, and I'm 37 weeks pregnant. That is so wild to say in like the most amazing way. And honestly, pregnancy has been so much more beautiful than I could have ever imagined. And being pregnant with my first baby is such a blessing, and this pregnancy has been amazing. So, this is just a video of my third trimester update, how I'm feeling, symptoms that I've experienced, and just how I'm feeling because baby could come at any point now that I'm 37 weeks pregnant. So that is that's literally so amazing to think about. But this pregnancy has been so beautiful. The biggest thing that I've experienced in the third trimester has been a lot of symptom changes, because the first and second trimester, yes, they come with their own set of symptoms and the way that you feel, fatigue, and then you get a sense of like, oh, your energy's back in like the second trimester, and appetite changes and things like that. But being in the third trimester, I've really felt my body preparing itself for labor. And one of the main things that I've been feeling now in the third trimester has been what they call lightning crotch. And it's essentially when the baby is dropping down lower, putting pressure on the vagina. And so basically it creates like this lightning feeling, and it's kind of like it's crampy feeling, but it really does feel like lightning going down. And a lot of people that I've explained that to are like, oh, that's Braxton Hicks, like you're experiencing Braxton Hicks. But truthfully, it's not Braxton Hicks. When they tell you that you have instincts and you know what you're talking about, you know what you're talking about. So I haven't experienced Braxton Hicks yet, actually, and I'm 37 weeks. But I know this isn't that because it's nowhere in my abdomen, in my core, in my belly at all. It's literally just in down there in my canal, and it's just that lightning feeling. And when she's moving, because my baby has been head down for a while now. She likes that position, so she's head down, she's good. We just got to make sure she's facing the way that she's supposed to be facing. But yeah, so I can feel her like moving down, and that's been a big symptom that I have felt now that I'm later in the third trimester. And there are other things that have come with being in the third trimester too. Like, I've experienced my appetite going crazy. So my first trimester, I lost my appetite a lot of food aversions, wasn't eating as much. I actually lost weight in my first trimester because I wasn't eating a lot. In my second trimester, my appetite went back to normal. And now in the third trimester, I feel like my appetite has doubled because I'm so much more hungry. I feel like my body is exerting a lot more energy. I'm eating even more frequently. And I've just made sure that my meals are really nutrient dense so that they hold me over longer. And my breakfast is typically like 50 grams of protein, which is wild to say because that's a lot for breakfast, but yes, it typically is. And my hyperfixation has been orange juice, which is crazy. But a big breakfast with a glass of orange juice and the pills that I'm currently taking to help at this point in my pregnancy, which have been blood builder because I have been slightly anemic during this pregnancy. So it literally by like 0.3 under the number that it's supposed to be, which is crazy. So I've been taking a blood builder to help build up my blood to get my iron as high as I can. And I've also been taking a prenatal probiotic because I will be doing the GBS test actually in a few days. So I've been taking that as a recommendation from my midwives to just kind of help my microbiome and test negative for that test. So that's what I've been taking, and yeah, just making sure that I'm eating good, getting smoothies throughout the day, lots of meals, things like that. And then I'm actually going to be starting dates, the red raspberry leaf tea, like all that good stuff here soon, now that I'm at that point where I can start that prep. But yeah, and then the weight gain has been, it's been different, especially for me as a fitness girly. I have gained a lot. Well, not a lot, but just see, I'm currently at a weight that I've never been at before. And so it's a lot different carrying around this weight. And I have stayed consistent with my fitness routine. I have not missed a week since I've been pregnant. I found out I was pregnant at 5 weeks. And from 5 now to 37, and even continuing on until I give birth, I have not missed a week of workouts. And that has been so amazing, and that's something that I really committed myself to when I started, because I know how it is. Your energy's low, you're heavier, your body is changing, and it's really been different working out and being pregnant. I've had to modify a lot of movements, and now in the 3rd trimester, being as heavy as I am, it's just been different, like carrying this much weight. But honestly, I feel so much stronger because I'm carrying so much weight than I was before, but I'm still doing the same movements, just, a little modified, obviously, because of my belly. But yeah, that's been something that has been a huge change also. And let me look at my notes, because there have been some other symptoms that I want to make sure that I cover, because 3rd trimester, again, has been so different. But yes, so we went over lightning crotch. Second, my hips have been so sore this 3rd trimester, like insanely sore. And it's crazy because I feel it the most when I wake up in the morning. I do sleep with a pregnancy pillow, like the big one, Mom Cozy brand, but I flip at least once a night if I'm in a good position. I've noticed, like this past week, there were 2 nights where I actually didn't flip at all. I stayed on my left side the whole night. But typically I flip at least once, because my hip will start getting so sore that it'll literally wake me up, and I'll have to flip to the other side in order to get more comfortable. But then when I wake up and get up for the day, I have started literally having to hold on to the bed to get to the bathroom, and just to get up and get my hips moving. And my husband actually noticed that and was like, you need to warm your hips up before you get out of the bed. So I've started doing just some hip mobility and some stretching to get my hips warmed up before I actually get out of the bed. And that has been so helpful, because when I get up, I don't feel like I'm literally about to fall down. And sometimes when before I started doing the stretching, I would feel like my hips, like they would like click or like pop. I don't really know how to describe it, but they would like pop, and it was just really uncomfortable. Not necessarily painful, but just really uncomfortable. So doing those hip stretches and that mobility has really helped a lot, just getting out of bed, and I've felt my hips spreading, and so I know that's where a lot of that like pressure's coming from. There has been some lower back pain, like if I'm on my feet a lot. And it's crazy because there's a balance. So when I'm sitting down for a long time, my hips and lower back will start to be sore, and if I'm standing up for too long, then they start getting sore. So there's a balance. I make sure that I'm moving around and just kind of keeping that blood flow going so that they don't get sore, because it is not comfortable whatsoever. Energy levels have gone down in the 3rd trimester also. So in the 2nd trimester, my energy levels, I felt like a toddler, like just so much energy, like just vibrant, like no naps during the day were needed or anything. But now I'm getting to that point where I've been tired. Like again, coming from the 2nd trimester where I wasn't taking any naps, and then now in the 3rd trimester feeling like, oh my goodness, like I need a nap. Some days I don't take one, even though I feel like I need one, but I can definitely tell a difference in my energy levels. Also in the morning, just feeling a little more groggy, and just needing more rest has been a big change. And I'm the type of person, I like to, be moving throughout the day. I will take a nap if I need to, but I prefer not to, just so I can keep my day going and whatnot. But that has been a big difference, and literally feeling like doing two things for the day and then being like, okay, nope, I need a nap. And it's like, I just had like 8 hours of sleep. So that's been a big change, the energy levels in the third trimester. Also, I'm sure you can see it, but my linea nigra, so I did get that on my belly. I started noticing it in the second trimester, but I've noticed that in the third trimester, it has come from like here all the way up my belly. So it did start, like I said, in the second trimester. So it started here and then it kind of stopped here. But now that I'm in the third trimester, I noticed that it started coming up more, and it's gotten a lot darker during this trimester too. So that's been a big change for sure that I've noticed. And then just other things like cramps. So I haven't really gotten like Charlie horse cramps in my calves per se. Now, if I point my toes down, that's a different story. If you've done that while you're pregnant, then you know how that is. But I've kind of refrained from pointing my toes down, so I don't really have that issue. But I have caught toe cramps, and it's crazy because it's only mainly been in my right foot. And also I've experienced swelling, but only in my right foot, which is odd. It hasn't been my left. Now, I did have a day where my husband and I were in the gym getting a workout in the evening, and both of my feet started cramping at the same time. I had to take my shoes off, my socks off in the gym, and just kind of like massage them and move my toes and stuff like that to get them back. But literally the cramps, they would come and then it would go away for like a couple seconds and then it would come back. That was like the craziest experience that I had with toe cramps. But thankfully that was the only one that I had where it was both at the same time and kind of like nonstop. But yeah, toe cramps are not fun. Like, it is so uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt. It's just really, really uncomfortable because like you can't really do anything about it. You just kind of have to let it be. So that's that. But another thing has been heavy breathing. So I haven't necessarily been like out of breath, like getting to a point to where I'm out of breath per se, but I've just noticed that I'm breathing harder, and it's because obviously like there's not as much space up here to get a full breath of air. So because the belly's the size of a basketball, just about. Actually it is, because me and my husband, we put a basketball beside my belly and my belly was bigger than the basketball. So there's that. But I have noticed that I've been breathing a lot more heavy, especially at night. Like when I'm sleeping, I notice that my breathing is a lot more heavy because my belly is heavy. Like when I get up or like when I'm laying down and I'm turning, I've just noticed that my belly is so much heavier. So that's been a big change here in the third trimester. And outside of symptoms, just I did cover how my belly is getting bigger, and I'm officially waddling, which is so crazy. The pregnancy waddle is real, and it didn't start until actually this past week, so like 36, 37 weeks. And it's crazy. It's actually really funny and cute, but yeah, no waddling up until this past week because she's getting big in there, okay? But yeah, other than that, nesting has been on a whole different level. Like, I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? Because for the most part, like, we have everything we need. It's just like getting organized, making sure the home is ready, stuff like that. So nesting has just been on a whole other level. But I can say one of the biggest things that I'm so glad I did was take care of all the like big major stuff like glider, and we needed an extra dresser, like all these big things that needed to be put together and put in their place. I'm so thankful that I did that ahead of time. I actually did that like in the second trimester, like mid-second trimester, so my belly wasn't as big. But now it's at a point where I'm protecting my belly and just making sure that like I'm more cognizant of how much I'm doing and how much I'm moving, because sometimes it's easy to forget that we have this big old belly on the front of us, and hitting stuff and whatnot. So I just try to be careful, but I'm glad that all the major large items I took care of like mid second trimester, before my belly was this big, and also before like I was this far along, because again, like now experiencing all these different symptoms with the lightning crotch and the swelling and the hip pain and soreness and lower back soreness, it definitely helps having all that big stuff out of the way. So now it's just little stuff like laundry and organizing and getting the bottles sterilized and stuff like that, minor stuff that is very important but is not as harsh on the body. So that's really how I've been feeling in the third trimester. Again, this pregnancy has been so beautiful, and I'm so looking forward to meeting my beautiful baby girl. I am preparing for a natural, unmedicated birth. We're opting for a water birth, so we have went the natural route, and honestly, I'm so looking forward to it. People have asked me like, oh, are you scared? Like, isn't that going to be painful? Like we were born to do this. As women, we were born to birth, literally. Like our bodies know what to do. We've been doing this literally since the beginning of time. And more time without medication than time that there has been medical interventions and medicines to numb women. But I'm just so looking forward to this natural process. So yeah, we have a few more weeks until I'm full term, or a couple of weeks. But I mean, we're at the point now where she can come at any point. So that is my third trimester update.